So, first of all, can you explain why advertising in public spaces is so bad for us? Why is this an issue? Why should people care?
Well, this is about, there are a set of applications to put up 5 digital billboards in Cardiff city centre, and Adblock Cardiff argue that this is something that brings not only no value to the citizens of Cardiff, but actually it's going to make our life worse. This is putting big, chunky structures in the middle of pedestrian streets, so it's blocking people's kind of ability to traverse the pedestrian highway. It's distracting to drivers and other road users. And actually, this is also, these billboards use an enormous amount of electricity in the middle of a climate emergency. Each of these units uses about the same amount of electricity as 4 domestic households. So this is bad for the environment. It's bad for people wanting to walk the streets of Cardiff, and it's distracting for other road users. So these are unhelpful, pointless things that have no place on our streets.
So what does your campaign against these billboards or your overall Adblock campaign hope to achieve?
Well, Adblock Cardiff campaigns against outdoor advertising in public places. Our argument is that advertising makes us less happy and is something that we don't need in our lives. But at the very least, that our councils and public authorities shouldn't be encouraging the proliferation of these sorts of climate damaging screens.
So by blocking these particular billboards, what do you hope to gain effectively from that?
Well, we hope to strike a bit of a blow against advertising companies who want to waste enormous amounts of electricity, damaging the climate and blocking the streets. So we will have streets that are less cluttered for pedestrians. It'll be less distracting for passing motorists because there won't be adverts blinking away and changing every few minutes. And it's better for the environment. So it's a win-win.
So obviously Cardiff Council say that the, what do they call them? The interactive communication hub units will have a range of services outside of the advertisements. Obviously things like defibrillators, wayfinding device chargers. Surely these are all good things and there must be some benefits towards them.
There's absolutely benefits to having defibrillators and Wi-Fi hotspots and everything else. Our argument is that you don't need to have a blooming great advertising screen on the other side of it, wasting electricity. If Cardiff Council think that these are good resources, then we should have them, but we shouldn't need to have the adverts that go with them.
How do you suggest that we fund these kind of like communication hubs then, if not through adverts?
Well, in the same way that we fund all sorts of other public services. Ultimately, adverts are not a benign thing that just kind of fall out of the sky. This is all stuff that we pay for through the products we buy on the shelf. So just scrap the advertising and by all means use traditional funding mechanisms to provide the public service elements of defibrillators, but don't use those elements as the kind of Trojan horse to sneak in extra unnecessary climate damaging public advertising.
So on your post on X, formerly Twitter, you say that the screens waste energy, block pedestrian areas and include intrusive surveillance. Can you expand what you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of information online, but all of these digital billboards and stuff, they do include elements of kind of tracking software in terms of pedestrian movements. There's plenty of stuff there that kind of gives more information about that. That's not the kind of most central element of our objection. I think the central element is around the climate damage, but there is stuff within the way that these billboards work in order to that people would object to in terms of surveillance as well. Yeah.
So finally then, what would you say to people or the council themselves who support these digital adverts being put up?
Well, the council doesn't support or oppose it. The council is just the body that will make the decision. We will be lodging an objection to the council in the hope that they will oppose it. A few supporters have already also lodged objections, and if people go to Adblock Cardiff and find us online, then they can see the objection that we're putting in and put their own objections into the council to show that this is not something that people need or want.